the Businessmen and Women of Color podcast. I am your host, Ann Alston, and it is once again my pleasure to bring quality programs to all of you. I am so excited again to be here with another amazing participant who is all the way from Yorkshire, England, and she is in the fashion and makeup industry, and I cannot wait to talk to her today because in 2019, we are featuring so many different dynamic industries this year, very much different than we did in the last 3 years. So I encourage you to check out all the pages and listen to all the podcasts that we're going to have on this season. And don't forget to like, vote, and share the interviews that are happening right now, because we have 7 BMWC Awards up for grabs for any of our over 50 some odd folks that are on this platform this year, and we would like to have 7 of them win one of these awards. So make sure you like, share, and vote for your favorite podcast participant. Before we get into our interview today, we need to take a moment to thank our corporate sponsors, who are My Financial Home, Evangelism Radio, J&F Enterprises, Sears Consulting, Autism Families Rock, Awakening to Love, Eli Natoli, Kimberly McLemore, True Synergy, and Platinum Financial Services, along with all of our participants that's making this event a huge, huge season success. So all the way from Yorkshire, England, we have Hayley Young, who is an international hair and makeup artist, and she is a huge advocate in working in her career from everything from film and television to theater and fashion shoots. Hayley has a degree in makeup artistry and special effects, and since leaving the university, she has worked freelance in the industry. Some of her favorite pieces of work have been in America, Finland, Germany, Switzerland, and Denmark. She also began her career self-employed, and early on, she had her first taste of international work when she was accepted in a position teaching at a theater school in the New York State. She has a mixture of freelance work and employment contracts in her career, and she's often included in doing media and doing some sort of type of teaching in terms of her career. So we're going to be talking to Hayley as you continue to read her bio. So Hayley, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so excited that you are participating, and really would like to learn more about you. So let's talk about, some of the interests that you had prior to getting into makeup. Did you always have this interest when you were younger?
As far as I can remember, I actually did. I was one of I think quite lucky really, because there's so many people out there that don't know what they want to do. I just literally couldn't wait to leave school and start training and get into work.
Okay. So what was some of the things that got you interested in makeup and hair?
I think somebody from quite a young age told me that there was such a thing as a job putting makeup on actors in films, and from then I was fascinated. I thought, oh, it'll be great. I'll go work in films and grow up and marry a famous actor or something like that. That bit didn't quite plan out, but I get to work on some amazing film and TV sets.
So once you had that thing or that bug about hair and makeup and everything, so what was you mostly drawn to? Was it just the different hairstyles, or was it just different makeup styles? Because I know that when I was younger, I always loved looking at the models and how they had their makeup and their hair, and just kind of wished that I could either do that with my hair, or try to be a model and stuff like that. What was your thoughts when you first started getting into the business?
I think a lot of it was the transformations that you can create with it. And it might only be just like a small, simple thing for, somebody for their wedding day, just making sure that they feel comfortable and confident when they're walking down the aisle and having the pictures taken, all the way through to when you're doing like big theatre shows where you've got everything's very dramatic, you've got lots of character makeup, using wigs. Occasionally you're doing special effects work as well, and you're creating different characters. It's seeing those transformations. I also work on makeover shoots as well, and the confidence there that the women get from having all their hair and makeup done that comes through the door. They're really nervous and unsure. Some of them have never worn makeup before, never mind even had a professional makeup artist do the hair and makeup for them. And then when they look in the mirror and they see themselves, it's a great feeling. And with the TV and film work that I do, not all of it's sort of the pretty work as well. I get to do the sort of the blood and gore side of things and the special effects, and it's people's reactions to that
Mhm.
when they see it. I've touched wood, I've only ever had one person faint. But
Wow. Okay. All righty.
absolutely
So
brilliant.
basically, you sort of just kind of gravitated to everything that you just said and made things very interesting. Did you start out just doing weddings, or did you immediately go into like the creative part? Because I saw in one of the photos that you turned in that you really have an intricate way of doing face makeup and different creative designs. But were you kind of starting off, because you mentioned weddings, so did you start off in weddings and just sort of graduated over into that area?
Originally, when I first started training, I wanted to go into special effects, and at university, I was told to pick an area to specialize in. And when I got into the industry, I just found there was so many different work opportunities out there. I did start off with sort of doing bridal work and face painting and small local jobs, that are close to home, and then eventually built up work experience working in theatres, film, and TV, which then led to the paid jobs doing regular work in the industry as well. I still get to do the local jobs back at home. That's kind of like the bread and butter money in between the film and TV contracts that I get.
Okay, so what are name some of the films that you did makeup for, and maybe some of the theaters plays that you've done makeup and things for?
Last year I worked as wig mistress at a pop-up theatre show which was doing all Shakespeare. So there was 4 Shakespeare shows on over the summer, and I was working on 2 of those. I've worked in Switzerland on Wicked the Musical, and some of the TV work I've done. I don't know if they're really well known in the US, but I've done Victoria for ITV. I've also done Gentleman Jack as well, which I think is actually going to be on HBO in the US before it comes over here to the BBC. Um, and some of the films I've worked on, I did Official Secrets last year, which was a lot of special effects work. I really enjoyed doing that. And recently I've worked on a TV program for the BBC called World on Fire.
Hmm. Okay, fantastic. We do get the BBC channel down here in the US, so I guess we get to check out some of your work for the special effects. I
Mhm.
would ask you, what is your favorite special effect makeup that you like to do in all the stuff that you've ever done so far? What is your favorite one?
I quite enjoy doing like bands and things like that, which sounds a little bit gory, but it's just a really good effect. It's when you look at bands, they're quite a difficult thing to recreate. And so being able to do that, I quite enjoy doing that because that is it's like that transformation thing where you see the person before and then after, and that's a really dramatic effect to do. I also enjoy doing some of the fantasy stuff as well, where you're creating creatures and you've got like different noses and ears and things like that to stick on, because that's quite a fun thing to do and you can be quite creative with that as well.
Okay, and which one is your least favorite?
Oh, I don't know if I've got a least favorite. Maybe blisters.
I'm pretty sure there might be like one that it may not like be categorized as like your least favorite, but it could be one that is extremely difficult and requires a lot of technique.
Yeah, probably blisters. There used to be a really good
Mhm.
product that was good for making blisters really quickly, and they don't make it anymore.
Oh,
It's made
wow.
my job harder.
Okay, so if there's anybody who's listening in this, and I'm pretty sure we have a lot of people who are going to be listening to this because this is the first time in the BMWC that we will have a makeup artist on this platform, and so with all the young people who are getting into film and those who are generally interested in doing what you do, what 3 pieces of advice would you offer new folks who are trying to get into creative makeup artistry the same as you? What would be your 3 biggest pieces of advice?
My biggest advice is because it's a who you know industry, just do as much work experience as possible. I know I had to do a lot of sort of unpaid and work experience to get my foot through the door, but then once people started getting familiar with me, knowing who I am, how I work, then that's when you start to get the paid jobs as well, because you're building up relationships with people and your network as well. And if you're, committed and you're hardworking and you're good at it, people are going to want to work with you again and again. Um, Another piece of advice I'd give is it's that industry where you never stop learning. So every year I try and do sort of a course or two just to update my skill set. If there's something that you're not doing for a long time, you start to lose it. So I do definitely invest in my skills, trying to keep everything as fresh as possible. And just literally being professional, being a nice, friendly person is, brilliant, but also working professionally as well. That's really important.
I think those are excellent pieces of advice because it's one of these things that we don't really hear about, especially with kids who come out of school. It's not like they're saying, I want you to go into makeup artistry when you come out of college. It is something that I guess you have to be exposed to and want to do it and have a creativity to do it. But like you said, you have to definitely make sure that your skills stay fresh all the time because things change, technology change, TV shows, they have wild imaginations and they sort of looking for you to bring their vision to life. And so, have you been able to, get your skills or in any other type of platform? Because we know you do the theater, we know you do all that stuff, but have you tried to like broaden your skills even further in some of the other unorthodox type of plays where makeup is needed?
Um, I'm just trying to think how to answer it. So most of the work I do is film, TV, and theatre, but there have been the odd sort of occasional jobs that have been slightly unusual. Incorporating all my sort of skills together, I once had, I think it was like my best job title ever when I worked in Finland and I was Santa's makeup artist for a travel company. So they used to like the Santa's holidays. So children would go away for a few days to Lapland and they'd get to go meet Santa and his elves. And my roommate was Mrs. Claus as well, which was quite funny. But it was just literally being there every day and creating, like we had complete creative control as well. So we had all the wigs and the facial hair and the makeup, and we could make up like Santa and Mrs. Claus and all the elves. So that was quite an unusual job incorporating a few of my different skills.
Nice. That sounds like fun having Santa Claus and the elves. I think that's always an awesome and welcoming thing that you can actually make someone really look like Santa Claus. So much better than somebody just having like, just a beard just sitting on the face, but you're actually going in
Yeah.
there and making them really look like elves and Santa Claus. And I think that's totally awesome. So
Yeah,
so outside of all the makeup and all the stuff that you do, what does Haley like to do outside of all of this work that you're doing? What do you like to do personally?
not very often I get to do it because I'm always working. Um, I enjoy traveling. I've been really lucky that my job has taken me to some amazing places as well. So I have got to see, places that I never thought I'd go and places that I'd never even thought of going either. Um, so yeah, I absolutely love traveling. I love doing charity work as well. And a few years ago, I trekked the Himalayas for a local charity where I live, which was incorporating both my loves of like charity and helping people and also traveling too. I really enjoyed that. I do enjoy the outdoors. I'm still a girly girl because I like playing with makeup, but I do enjoy being outdoors and walking and being around nature as well. I find it really peaceful and
Mhm.
and nice and relaxing as well. It's a big
Okay.
contrast to the career that I have.
Okay, fabulous. And I see in your bio that you also taught in New York at a theater school. So when you were teaching in New York, was it all about your industry and everything? And what was your experience? How did you like the experience of teaching in New York?
I really enjoyed it. It was great. All the staff were international, so I got to work with some amazing, talented people from all over the world, and the students were brilliant. Over here, I we don't have sort of those kind of opportunities. So, I used to teach 10 to 18-year-olds. I used to teach them like stage makeup, theatre makeup, doing like different characters, and also the special effects side as well, which the children really loved. And we used to design for their shows too, so they were all cast in either a play or a musical. They got to pick which one they went into, and then they were cast. And we used to do all the designs for their shows as well, and it was just absolutely amazing. And seeing the scale of it compared to things we have over here, we don't have anything like it. And to me, it was like almost putting on like a proper big production with them. It was great.
Okay, fabulous. And so now that we have really covered pretty much like everything that you're doing, what is next in your future that you would like to see happen in terms of your career, or if you decide to start a business on your own for this, what is in store next for you?
At the moment, I'm in the early stages of actually setting up my own makeup training school, with like accredited courses from like an awarding body, so I can actually give out qualifications as well. Something I'm really passionate about is passing on my knowledge to other people, but also I want to be able to help others get into the industry as well. Where I live in Yorkshire is like a small village, and it took me a lot to get into the industry because where I live, there's no opportunities. But to be able to pass on my knowledge, not just to teach people the practical skills, the professionalism, and about being a hair and makeup artist, but also teach people how to actually get into the industry, look at which area they want to go into, and then help them with the business side and everything from social media to pricing. I just love to be able to share my knowledge as I love helping other people, and to be able to give people the opportunities and the knowledge there, and also be able to offer them work experience so they can come out on jobs with me when I have them as well. And I can give them the opportunities that maybe I didn't quite have in the area when I was getting into the industry. It'd be just a really great thing to give back.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so in your plans, are you also planning to incorporate some virtual training so that you can kind of touch people in the US as well, since you already have that tied to New York State and teaching about makeup? Are you planning to do webinars as well?
There is definitely I've got sort of like been sort of putting ideas down, and there is definitely something that I want to do there with doing something online, either doing like online courses or webinars as well. At the moment, I'm starting small, and I'm just going to be teaching from a salon near where I live. It's actually a teaching school as well, but they're
Mhm.
more hair based. So I'll be the first person going in that's going to do sort of beauty or slash makeup with them. But I would definitely love to go bigger and more international with it in the future, and create a platform that is online and virtual to teach.
Absolutely. And, I want to encourage you to keep doing that. I think you're doing fabulous. And I will really be interested in seeing some of the other like creative designs that you do with face paintings and learning more about that. So if you have that, make sure you give it to me so that I can have it on your page and everybody else who's listening can check it out and see what type of
Definitely.
makeup yeah, to inspire
Mm,
them. And then when you're ready for your business school and your virtual webinars, then you'll definitely have people who are interested. And so I have one more question, but before I ask you that one more question, give everybody your contact information so that they can get in touch with you and be on your mailing list.
fab. So if anyone's on Facebook and they want to follow me on there, then I've got my Facebook page is Hayley Young Professional Makeup Artist and Educator. And on Instagram, my page is Hayley Young MUA.
All right. So the final question I have for you, Haley, is what do you need personally and professionally to help you along with what you're trying to do? What do you need?
What do I need?
Mhm.
At the moment, I'm just trying to build a bigger platform on social media. I know now, the best kind of business advertising that you can get is social media. So it's just basically building up that platform. So I've got a bigger audience for when I do launch my courses, so I can reach as many people as possible.
Okay, folks, you heard it. She needs your help in social media. So make sure that you check out her Facebook page and her Instagram page and also her website. And if you feel like you would like to know more about creative makeup artistry, reach out to Hayley and reach out to anyone else that you think is on this platform that can help you with your career or business. And so with that, Hayley, I want to thank you for being part of the movement, waving to us all the way from Yorkshire, England, and supporting small businesses, authors just like yourself. And thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.